officially gonna be. I was over here and chiseled this Wednesday. This is Friday. I initially intended to come over here yesterday, but the 1800 decided to throw a hissy fit, and so I ended up working on that yesterday. We're fighting 2 weeks ago, it blew a battery, like took 2 cells out of it, and it would only put a load test on it and it would drop down to about 2 volts. Okay, that's why it won't start. So battery was only 8 months old, it was still under warranty. Took it back and got a replacement, put it back, thought I had the problem solved, and then I hadn't really messed with it much since then. And then yesterday I went to move it to get the 55 out so I could use it, and same thing, it rolled over like 2 times and then was dead as a doornail. So okay, this is weird. So some more investigating. The other battery took a shit, because there's 2 batteries obviously, and so I went and took that one back because they were both out of the same lot. I was like, okay, maybe they had a bad run of batteries or some shit, because they lasted 8 months. It wasn't really expecting any sort of charging problem or anything, because it worked fine when I was disking, up until the point where I was disking wheat stubble, and I got done disking wheat stubble and it sat, and I went to get it out for something or other, and that first battery took a shit. Well, okay, put second battery in it, thinking, okay, either A, they had 2 bad batteries, or B, the first battery trying to keep the second battery trying to keep the second battery alive. How, yeah, you get what I'm saying. The one battery trying to keep the junk battery alive killed the second battery. So either way, got both batteries in it. Went and started today to get the 1955 out, and same deal. Roll over once, batteries are dead. But luckily this time it appears we haven't smoked either battery, and they were just weak. But it appears we got to have a parasitic draw somewhere. But I checked everything. The voltage regulator, well, the starter's been rebuilt, generator's been rebuilt, it's got all new battery cables. I checked the grounds, the cutout's working on the voltage regulator. The voltage regulator is regulating correctly, so it's not overcharging. The rest of the wiring harness is in good shape. You obviously got 2 brand new batteries. If there is a parasitic draw, there can't be much, because if you take one of the easiest ways to tell if you have a parasitic draw, it doesn't tell you where the draw is, but the easy way to tell you, at least on something like that. Now, it doesn't really work on a newer vehicle or anything where you're gonna have a slight amp draw, because it's got to keep the computer and everything alive. But on something that old, that's when you turn the key off, it's off. There's no battery draw or anything. You unhook a battery cable and you try to arc it off the terminal, and if nothing happens, then you should be good. Well, we did that and nothing arced. So I mean, if there is a parasitic draw, it has to be super duper minute. But something just took out 2 batteries and then drew these 2 dead in a matter of 24 hours. So, but you throw a battery charger on it, let it sit there for 10 seconds, bump the key, it rolls over twice, it's running. Once it's started, you can shut it off, start it, shut it off, start it, do whatever the hell you want once the battery's got juice back to them. So, hell if I know. But I basically just dinked with it long enough to get determined that the batteries weren't dead or weren't killed again, and to get it out of the way so I get this guy out, and I'll screw with it more later. But anyhow, I'm using the 19 because I actually had thought about using the 1800 here, but a narrow front tractor set up on a 60-inch tread width, working on rough side hills, I just couldn't, for safety reasons, talk myself into thinking that was a good idea. This thing's got a nice wide tread width. It's plenty heavy. The disc isn't going to push it around. I'm using the 10-foot disc because it's going to be easier with that, working around that telephone pole. So that's why I'm using what I'm using. Plus, this disc has got the buster bar on the back, so but probably gonna disc it at least twice, possibly 3 times. It's only an acre, so it looks like I need to disc it 4 times. You never know. But anyhow, with the battery debacle, I'm already over here later than what I wanted to, so time to get after it. 4 passes with the disc. I dished it straight, and then I hit it at probably a 20-25 degree angle both ways, and then I dished it back straight. Really didn't find any more fun stuff. The only piece of metal I found was a steel pin, probably 2 foot long. But that was pretty much it. Found some bigger, like, tree roots bordering on stumps. They might have been stumps, they're just tore up so bad they look like roots, but and found some bigger rocks. I was basically just stopping and picking shit up as I went. That way I didn't lose track of it. But I hit it 4 times, hoping, well, to try to chop up all these tree roots and try to get the side chopped up as best I could, because I'm either gonna have to field cultivate this or drag it, one of the two, to get it leveled out. Oops. And guess what neither one of those particular tools gets along with? Sod, or really any sort of trash, period, for that matter. So like I say, kind of trying to chop all that up as best I could. Plus it made it got rid of most if not all of the dirt clods. I thought this ground was going to be sandy, and the only way to know for sure would be to get it wet and do a ribbon test on it to figure out what, if any, kind of clay content it has. But I think it's got a lot of silt in it, because it's really smooth, and in the spots where it doesn't have any or doesn't have a lot of sod to give it much body, it's about like trying to dish cake mix. You just kind of, it's just like powder, but it's not sand. It's about the consistency of cake mix. It's just really smooth, and well, like this. That's not sand. I'm pretty sure that's silt. So I'm guessing that this is probably more along the lines of a silty clay loam than sand, like I figured, which is kind of odd, because you'd have thought when they built that tower they'd have backfilled it with sand, because sand packs. But obviously silt packs pretty damn good too, hence having to do all the work to get this busted up. And then naturally, now that I busted it up, it's got almost no body to it. But color mulch will take care of that. That'll pack this right back down. You'll be able to walk across it without hardly being able to leave a mark. I probably should be saving some of these rocks, because Shelly's been doing landscaping crap around the house and she wants rocks. Here's another piece of metal. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. I think, and bastards are all hiding in their little hole there. Since they're not all buzzing around, this would be the time to get the carb cleaner or brake clean or ether or something. Well, probably not ether. Ether would be a bad idea, but something you can make the flamethrower and shoot it right in their hole. I tried to sneak over with the disc and shove dirt up against it, but I couldn't get that close to the edge. So anyhow, I think I got this stuff chopped up enough I can drag it and not make too terrible of a mess, but all I can do is try, and if it does make a mess, well then I guess we'll have to figure something else out, because if a drag won't do it, I don't think my field cultivator would do it. But if I use my field cultivator, I'm probably gonna have to put it on the 4150, unless I wanted to put the duals on that thing, because I don't think it'd climb that hill back there. And even when I color mulch this, just with the way everything acts, I'm probably gonna use the 4150, because it'll float on top better. And because if I use that, especially without duals, and even with duals, the front tires are going to cut in, and then you end up with a flat spot with tire divots in it, because the color mulcher doesn't move enough dirt to fill in your tire tracks. So use the 4150, you got 8 big tires on the ground, it's going to float better, so you'll get a flatter finish, in theory. So, but gonna have to walk this real. Hey, there's that rope that I saw the other day and I couldn't find again. Yeah, I guess it is possibly a halter rope. Used to be, anyhow. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call her good for the day, and we'll probably reconvene this project early next week, because this weekend I really need to start working on combines. So tomorrow morning I'm gonna get the 7300 dug out. Well, not that I gotta do any digging, it's right in front of the door already, but get the 7300 out and take it over to Dad's and get the hydraulic valve stack rebuilt this weekend, and start working on that elevator project. The 8700, really, other than like general maintenance, I got 1 belt to replace on it, no, 2 belts to replace on it, and a spring, and change the oil in it, and do a general go over, make sure everything's kosher. But the 8700 really doesn't have a whole lot needs done to it, so I'll probably just do that in the barn at the house and not worry about running it over to Dad's, because I do got to do some work to the corn head, and the stuff I got to do to the corn head, I got to get it off the header cart, but I can do that with the 7300, so I just do all that with the 73. So anyhow, that's kind of where we're at for right now. So I guess that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.